In Hollow Knight Silksong, your needle is your main and most important combat tool. If you're like me, it will be what you're using for the vast majority of your damage in the game. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of ways to improve it beyond the basic upgrades. Those upgrades end eventually, and once they do, the only things you can use to increase your damage are the flint slate and the barbed bracelet. They're both nice, but they're not anything crazy. But what if I were to tell you I found a vastly improved way to increase your needle damage? So, I am fighting this enemy right here, and I just killed him in 6 strikes using the Reaper Crest. What if you were to learn that you could reduce that amount of strikes from 6 to 3, or even 2, depending on your own level of skill? Well, you may ask, Kilroy, how could I possibly do that? And it all comes down to bench storage. Now, in a previous video, I discovered bench storage myself and the many uses of it. The main use being bench storage allows you to change your crests even when you're not sitting on a bench, so it allows you to change them in the wild. But in that video, I pretty much used this discovery to show how movement can be entirely broken open by having bench storage active. And I didn't want to go into that in this video because that's not what's important. What is important is that I learned that it's not only movement that can be messed up by bench storage, no. Your own damage potential can be shot up incredibly high simply by having bench storage active. So, I'm going to show you, dear viewer, how to set up bench storage, and then I'm going to show you how to use that to massively increase your damage output in Hollow Knight Silksong. Step number 1. What even is bench storage, and how do I activate it? Well, it's a simple question with a simple answer. You may notice I just woke up from the area that you normally spawn in Hollow Knight Silksong upon beginning Act 3. However, for your purpose, you can spawn anywhere in the game and get bench storage to activate, as long as you are not spawning on a bench. So this means you could revert to a scene where you just picked up an ability, like a crest. You can revert to somewhere where you just got a silk skill. As long as you can open up a save and not be on a bench, you can set up bench storage. What you have to do is start from that save and run immediately to the closest bench you can find and not die along the way. Although that doesn't really matter, it just wastes time. Once you are able to make it to a bench, what you want to do is sit on it, but you want to make sure that Hornet's butt does not touch the bench, because once it does, that bench is set as a new save point. You want to start Hornet sitting on the bench and then pause right before the save activates and save and quit. Upon reloading the game after doing that setup, you will find that you now have the ability to change crests in your menu, and essentially the game is imagining you to be sitting on a bench because you started the sit down on the bench animation. However, because it never finished, it didn't activate your save there. So instead, you're loading in a completely different area where you're able to equip tools, change out your crests, and do a lot of other things. And as I showed before, you can use this to make a lot of weird adjustments in your needle moveset to give you kind of movement, but we want to use this to change our needle to do a lot more damage. To begin with, I will be showing a standard kill of a Grand Reed to then compare it against the damage with the strat utilizing crest switching. I have a barbed bracelet, the Reaper Crest, and a max upgraded needle. So this is the most single strike damage you will be getting. I don't have the flint slate because that's kind of an odd effect where it has multiple takes of damage. Otherwise, I will be showing you how many hits it takes to kill a Grand Reed with this setup only, and then comparing that setup to the immensely powerful boost you get from having bench storage. So that's 2 hits. Fortunately for me, my own skill doesn't matter. The amount of hits will always be the same, as will the amount of parries. So that is 5 hits total against the Grand Reed. 5 hits as a standard attack and nothing separate. And Hollow Knight Silksong doesn't have like counter damage or any multipliers by attacking enemies when they attack. Those 5 hits will always be 5 hits no matter what, as long as this setup is the same. Now, I'm going to compare this to another Grand Reed who I will fight with the full capabilities of bench storage, and you will see the massive difference it makes. Or rather, you will see in the future, because this enemy is voided, so it is not comparable. Watch this. Yes, you will believe that that was an amazing battle because I played cool music. No, I will not brook any disobedience. So yeah, that was a 3-hit kill versus our standard 5-hit kill. Almost a double damage increase, and that was with me performing horribly, genuinely terrible. And that is because what I did for most of that battle was switch crests on and off in the middle of doing my attacks. When I am switching my crest while I have an attack active, the hitbox of your needle resets. And that means that it is possible for one needle to hit way more than one time per attack. Now, that is why the Reaper Crest is so good for this, because the Reaper Crest, I believe, has the longest active attack hitbox. Because the attack takes so long to reset, it looks like the attack stays out in the field much longer than something like the Hunter or the Wanderer's Crest would. And that is why when I can do something like this, do an attack and open and close the menu and switch as many times as possible, the attack will land far more often than just one time, as long as I am not messing it up heavily. So that is the trick behind this skill. The Reaper Crest is not the only crest for which this is usable. However, in my opinion, it is the best. And what it is giving you is the potential to turn any one needle attack into 2, 3, maybe even 4 if your reflexes are good enough. And that is what is so incredible about bench storage, is that it lets you essentially multiply all damage you deal by a massive factor. And just for more proof of this whole strat working, I'm going to fight this enemy normally as well, because I did just finish fighting a voided Grand Reed, even though I was kind of commenting over it, and doing it with the needle swapping technique, the crest swapping technique of the needle. I killed him in 7 hits, here I killed him in 10. So again, I myself can say that I am not that good at this trick at all. You could see me messing up many times. There were many hits I didn't multiply at all. And yet I still was able to improve my damage output massively. The Barbed bracelet gives you 20% more needle damage. Every attempt I've done has gotten far more than that. Not even close. So yeah, this is a massive boost to any damage you deal in Hollow Knight Silksong. Something that can go up to 200 or 300% more damage without you being at risk at all. The risk is, I guess, needing to use the Reaper Crest, because you can go to other crests like the Witch or the Hunter, but I don't know really how well you'll be able to multiply any of those hits that are out there for way fewer frames. You could probably get a double hit in every so often, but at that point, it's far, far less effective. The Architect Crest may be a decent option, but in my mind, the Reaper lasts the longest by far. So yeah, go get yourself the Reaper Crest, set up bench storage. You can do bench storage at pretty much any place in the game. Just revert to a save that you got a new item at. It's really not hard. And you will be able to set up a damaging build that is stronger than any needle build that previously existed in Hollow Knight Silksong. Go out there, have fun with your massive damage buff. And hey, it's kind of a new form of skill expression, because I love learning stuff like this too. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for watching.